Welcome to the Dallas Duo Podcast,
your weekly wellness coffee date.
We're friends in Dallas, always looking for the best ways to optimize our health
and have fun along the way.
Today's guest is Whitney Rowell, founder and CEO of Miracle Mama, a modern wellness brand on a mission to give mamas everywhere a boost, starting with its hero product, Miracle Milkookies. After navigating her own postpartum challenges, Whitney baked her first batch of lactation cookies in her kitchen. What began as a grassroots solution to support milk supply has grown into a nationally loved brand, helping hundreds of thousands of moms feel nourished and supported. A wife and mom of 4 girls, Whitney lives in Dallas, where she leads Miracle Mama's brand strategy, product innovation, and community growth. Welcome to the Dallas Duo Podcast, Whitney. We have lots of questions.
I'm so honored to be here and so excited. I wish I was with y'all in your little studio right now.
Well, I'm so excited. Just give us, kind of at that personal start, like your personal journey into motherhood and wellness and how we got here.
It's kind of a crazy story, but I'll give you like the high level. I had our first baby in 2015. I was the first of all my friends to have a baby. It was not a planned pregnancy. A lot behind that. But I had this baby and she was, I think it's so interesting going into motherhood because for me, at least, I felt like I saw my doctor all the time and I read all these books and I thought I knew everything just because you don't know what you don't know, but I thought I knew what I knew.
You followed the rules that you
followed
thought.
The rules a little bit. And then we got home from the hospital with this little baby and I was like, oh my gosh, no one tells you how hard this is. And I was like, wait, I'm not going to see my doctor for 6 more weeks because I'd been seeing her all the time. I was like, and then our pediatrician, I don't even really know our pediatrician because I hadn't really met her yet. And then I'm like, this is so weird. What am I supposed to do? And then you're supposed to feed a baby. There's just so many questions and so many things. And I remember calling my mom and she was like, everything was easy with you. What are you talking about? But that was 27 years before. She didn't remember probably those first couple weeks because it's such a blur. Yeah. So I just remember being really, my baby was also 5 pounds. She was tiny and I was trying to feed her around the clock. I wasn't getting sleep, all the things that we all experience having, just a new baby. A life at home as a new mom. And then I just remember a friend from high school I hadn't seen in years texted me and she was like, hey, I heard you had a baby. I made you lactation cookies. They're on your doorstep. And I just remember opening my front door and seeing this plate of cookies and she had left a little Post-it note on it that said, you've got this. And I brought them into my house and I put them on the counter and I put the Post-it note on my refrigerator. And I just felt seen for the first time after having my baby. And I also love baking. It's something I do. It's a stress relief for me. I've done it my whole life. I've started, my mom has pictures of me baking when I was 2. I started baking very young. And so I had this recipe that I always made for everyone called Whitney's Cookies, this oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe that I made for everybody for everything. So I just remember eating the cookies thinking this is, first of all, what is a lactation cookie?
Yeah.
But also these are pretty good. And so I started Googling lactation cookies because I had no idea what they were. And found that a lot of people have posted these recipes with lactation cookie ingredients like brewer's yeast, oats, flaxseed. Some people use fenugreek. Some people use different things to help boost their milk supply. And I was like, this is so crazy. You can eat a cookie to boost your milk supply. I've never heard of this. And I was actually surprisingly making a lot more milk after eating these cookies. And so I thought that was really crazy. And I mean, that was also the first time I realized nourishing your body nourishes your baby, just how important what you're putting in your body. It's important to put the right things in your body. And I know a cookie is a cookie, but just at that stage too, you're so depleted in every area. Yeah. So anyway, I started just making my own. I took my literal oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe, the same recipe we still use today. And I added brewer's yeast and flaxseed. We walked over to Whole Foods, grabbed those ingredients, put them in the cookies. And I started making them for myself. And I was like, this is so cool. I can do something for me, bake, and do something for my baby, make milk and eat these cookies. That's how we kind of started this. That was the idea behind this company.
It's incredible.
I love that. And what a good friend to bring you cookies.
I know. So sweet. I'm very thankful for her. And it's amazing.
That's wonderful. And I bet a lot of people also now use your cookies as gifts,
Yeah. I mean, it was surprising to me because I remember I ate all of her cookies and then I was making my own, but I was like, oh, I'll just go online and see if I can buy more. And I couldn't find any fresh baked lactation cookies at the time. And so that's how the business started. I literally, I had been living in New York prior to having babies and I was working in PR and it was during the time sartorialist and street style blogging. And so I started a blog called Lifestyle Hunting that really nobody read, but I put my recipe on that blog and called it the
It is.
Miracle Milk Cookie.
Mhm.
And that recipe was like kind of went viral without me knowing. A year and a half after I posted it, I had like 300,000 hits on that one blog post. And I was like,
Wow.
Yeah.
hey, people are making this cookie
Yeah,
for themselves, their
people wanna
friends.
be seen, and there's a
People,
problem that's
yeah.
clearly existing that I'm solving.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's so crazy. Because I think you're right, like, I think, wow, like, wouldn't it be smart of a bakery that's already making an oatmeal
Mhm.
chocolate chip cookie to have a lactation cookie?
For
Because
sure.
there are mamas who are coming into your store who probably need that. Like, what
Mhm.
an untapped market.
I know. It's so crazy how it's a very untapped market
Yeah,
still today. Yeah.
yeah. When you think about Miracle Mama, what challenges did you face along the way?
Oh my gosh, so many. So there was that trend that went around. Have y'all seen that on Instagram? It's like unhinged.
Hinge
I
things you
saw
did?
Yes, unhinged
I
things.
saw
Yeah.
your post. I thought that was so good. Yeah, definitely walk us through some of those.
My background was PR, marketing, branding, like nothing to do at all with
Like CPG?
CPG,
Yeah.
baked goods, like any of that. So I thought I'll just sell my cookies from my, like, house, like, that's easy, and I like, when I saw this massive amount of people coming to my website, my, like, Squarespace site, I put a button on there. It said, "Click here to purchase cookies," and on my kitchen counter, I took a picture of frozen cookie dough balls and fresh baked cookies, and then we left to go to Vail to visit my friends for the summer. I was pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant with baby number 2. I had baby number 1 was, like, had just turned 2. And I remember we were driving up, we had flown into Denver, we were driving up to Vail, and I was getting all these orders for frozen cookie dough
Oh
in,
gosh.
like, Las Vegas, LA, New York, all over the country. And I was in the car with, like, my girlfriends because it was, like, 3 couples. They were like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Y'all, I'm getting all these orders for cookie dough." And they're like, "Did you start a cookie company? What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what this is.
I don't know what I
I
did.
Wow.
I don't know what I did." But I was like, all these people want cookie dough, and I don't know why I put that on my website, but I thought people wanna make cookies at home. And my friend Rachel, her brother owned Pokio's, like, in Waco. He had, like, a
Oh my god.
food
Oh.
Pokio's truck, which is, like, a cookie company here in Dallas that she was like, "Call Austin, he'll help you." So I called him and I was like, "Hey, how do you ship frozen cookie dough?" And he was like, "You can't." So he was like, "Well," he was like, "You can use dry ice." He's like, "What are you trying to ship? What are you trying to do here?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so anyway, all that to say, I ended up, like, emailing all those people and saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm a mom trying to make this happen for you. I'd love to send you baked cookies. I don't know how to ship frozen cookie dough. I don't even know why I had them on my website." So then I started, like, shipping out cookies. And then I got emails back like a week later. "Thank you so much for sending the cookies. They arrived in a million crumbs, but the crumbs are
Oh.
really good." Oh my gosh. So then I'm like refunding all these people, but I had like gone to Container Store and bought these like bakery boxes and put like beautiful tissue paper inside. And I got like letterpress cards made, and then I had like handwritten notes. Like, I spent so much money on the packaging because I want them to have a great new mom experience. Like, anyway, I had spent way more than we even made. And then I decided to do, my grandparents work, they go to the St. Michael's, a church here in Dallas,
Mhm.
and they were like just starting this farmers market that summer. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, you should do a little pop up there at the farmers market with your," like, they didn't even know what they were. Like, "Those cookies you have for mom." And I was
Oh,
like, "I
thank you, babe.
should." And so we get back, so I bake a million cookies, like, not a million, like, like 20 dozen cookies, and I bring them to the market. I'm, like, almost about to pop with this baby. It's July of 2017, have my 2-year-old, and we're at this farmer's market, and I'm selling these cookies, and everyone's like, "What are these cookies? Like, what's going on?" Like, it was just, like, such a funny, I mean, I had so many crazy, weird experiences getting this company off the ground because what I learned along in those early days was, like, I can't ship cookies from my house because we don't have, like, we're not a certified kitchen. I can't, like, and I can't ship cookies anyway because they'll break. So I have to deliver them. So I was up all night. I would make cookies. I would put them in the freezer, get up early in the morning, bake them and put them in bakery boxes, pack up my newborn. I remember, like, getting orders while I was in the hospital having our baby. And I was,
Oh.
like, emailing, like, "I'm gonna be out for 2 days, but I'll bring them to your house in a week." I would, like, drive. I was, like, literally 4 days postpartum driving cookies to new moms because I wanted them to have fresh cookies. I was, like, doing that, trying to figure it out. Those early days were really, really hard. And I had a full-time job because I was supporting my family because my husband was getting his master's.
Oh.
So it
Oh
was
my
really
god.
stressful.
So where are they baked now? You have a
Yeah, that was my
facility
question,
in
like,
Dallas?
how long was it
So
You doing the baking.
Yeah.
So at that little farmer's market, which I always say, like, if someone gives you an opportunity, take it. I know this is not going to be our end game. We're not going to be at these farmers markets slinging cookies for like, this is work for my family and our, but I met this girl there. My grandmother dragged a pregnant girl over to me and she was like, Whitney, meet this girl. She's pregnant. She's your customer. And this girl was like, so sweet. And she was like, hi, what are you doing here? And I was like telling her about our cookies. And she was like, oh, well, I actually work for in finance, in private equity. And I would love to sit down with you and talk to you about your business model and your COGS and your
Mm.
margins and all those things. And I was like, great. I have no idea. So she happened to also be a newborn photographer. So she was like, I'll take your cookies with me. Like she was on the side,
Oh,
like that was her passion project. Her name is Natalie Yates. She was like, I'll take your cookies to my clients and then
oh,
also
that's
I'll help you
perfect.
because she's like, I'm so passionate about helping small female founders because a lot of times I've seen them get taken advantage of on the in the
Yeah.
finance side. So that was such an amazing fortuitous thing that happened. And so she and I had coffee like the next week and she said, like, okay, so what's your strategy here? And I was like, I just want to get as many cookies to as many moms as possible. And she was like, then you need to stop baking them out of your house. You're not making money and you need to start focusing on sales and marketing and outsource production. So I was like, I don't want to. I want to make every single cookie fresh baked and soft baked for these moms. And she was like, they don't care. Like, they really don't. Like, they won't know if it's your cookie or someone else's cookie. Find
If
someone
it's
who can
done
make them
right.
for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, and, like, that was something that was really, like that was, like, a light bulb moment for me. What was interesting is it took me an entire year to find a manufacturer that could
Mhm.
bake soft-baked lactation cookies for me the same way that I had them made out of my kitchen, because when
Mhm.
you scale a recipe, like, my recipe made 3 dozen cookies. The recipe that a lot of these manufacturers needed, I mean, they needed to, like, do 12 pounds of butter and,
Mhm.
all just
Mm.
so much more, so it's a science project at that point. You're scaling, it's a formula and you're scaling based off of like ounces versus
Yeah.
cups and pounds versus so I met with a lot of people who were like, "No, I can't help you," or "You're crazy." And then my dad's a commercial real estate developer. He's like, "We'll build out a kitchen," and else. And Natalie was like, "Nope, that doesn't work with your financial model. We're not building out a kitchen. You don't even have enough sales to do that." So it took a long time. So to answer your question, long way. I ended up baking them out of my house for an entire year, where I was like interviewing and meeting with every single baker in the city of Dallas, Fort Worth, and beyond.
It sounds like that farmer's market connection was really important. And it really just goes to show that every step in the journey matters. It's meant to be sometimes just by being in a certain place.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think, like, I mean, Unrefined Bakery has, like, what, 6 or 7 locations now, and they
Hmm.
started at the farmer's market. Like, I just
Yeah.
think there's so many companies that have started, like, the Gem. Didn't they
Yeah.
start at
The
the farmer's
gem one.
market?
And then they
I
had a
mean,
tiny little location
everyone.
that was only open during school hours. And yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say too, like you get a lot of great feedback from people
Yeah.
and you learn a lot. It's
It's
a
Yeah.
like
great
your
like
focus group,
focus
right?
group.
It's like your
Yes,
beta
exactly.
launch, because 'cause you're
Yes.
getting, like, live feedback usually. People usually, like, eat them there, like, you kind of get that direct to consumer experience.
I think it's really smart. I think everyone who's starting a food company should start off at a little farmer's market. Just even we did it one time and we got a lot out of that.
As you have developed, I'm interested, like, what you think sets Miracle Milk apart. And on that same note, if there's been any, like, huge changes to, like, the recipe or your additives or anything that you guys have pivoted on to set yourself apart more.
What's interesting is there still is not a fresh baked lactation cookie available on the market, like a soft baked fresh baked
I
cookie
know,
on the
like,
market.
I've looked
Yeah.
a lot.
I actually was just like right before this, I was on a call with a broker for another company in the same category, and she was like, "We've tried to do it,
Mhm.
and it's just really hard to find." Which I that's why it took me a year to find this co-packer that makes it, and then you have to get to scale to make. So that in itself, like we've the same recipe, like our original oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, like our lactation cookie is the same recipe we've always used. We actually still have it. We have it on our website. Like that's how I started the company with that
Yeah.
recipe on my blog. And so I keep that recipe up for anyone who wants to make them because if they want to make them great, like I'm happy for anyone to make the cookies at home. We did like 3, 4 months into like finally getting a great co-packer. We decided to make a dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free vegan cookie
Mm.
It's
because
so freaking good. It's
a lot
so
of our it's like it's actually my favorite one.
I
It's
Yeah,
so
bet.
I have celiac, and so I tried them.
oh,
Somebody brought them for me,
that's
when I
so
had my son,
cool.
and I had tried them before that because, like, they're just so good, and they were royal blue, but I was like, "What did awesome experience because, like, honestly, that market is, like, the
Mm.
worst actually for lactation
I
cookies.
know.
There's
It
so
made
much
me
junk.
so yes, it makes me sad. It made me really sad too because I would get emails from moms and they'd just say, "I'm so sad I can't eat your cookies anymore because my doctor told me my baby has a
Can't
dairy
be
allergy." And I
Uh,
kept just got so many of those emails and I was like, I just finally called our baker. He's really great. Like he makes the most amazing different types of cookies. And I was like, I need you to make a dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, vegan lactation cookie that also is like a breakfast cookie that also tastes like a
oh,
sister to our oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, so it's not a competitor, but also is something that you wanna eat alongside of it, and he was like, "Okay, I got it."
super
He
easy,
did
no
it.
problem.
you've got this.
No problem. But he did it. I really was so impressed 'cause it was important to have that option for moms, and I will say too, like, we've talked about, like, do we do, like, 20 different flavors and launch this type of
Mm,
flavor and this type of thing, and I realized too, like, you can launch a million different SKUs, it doesn't mean they're gonna sell well, and so
mm,
I just wanted to do well with what we have, and also we haven't focused on, like, a better for you product because what's interesting is the cookies work the way they are, and I haven't wanted to change the recipe because they taste really good. Also, it's hard to find a cookie that tastes really good in this category.
mhm,
And I think we could do I mean, that's something we've talked about, like, doing one that's low sugar and low cal and does all these different things, and that in itself is a different product line, and my whole thing is like, "Mama, you deserve a cookie. You deserve a treat." Sometimes and we have, like,
mhm.
amazing athletes, Peloton trainers, like, tons of, like, models, people who, like, are in really amazing, great shape, eat the cookies, but it's not a healthy cookie. You know, that's the thing
Mhm.
I'm kinda like, if you're gonna eat a healthy product, it's probably not gonna be ours, but, like, I'm not saying it's a healthy product either.
Yeah.
But
And that's
also,
why
like,
you're
I think there's that coexisting like, as a dietitian, I talk to patients about this all the time. I'm like, there's a brand that I, like, really don't like their messaging, and they make cookies, and they call them healthy, and they're actually not
mm,
healthy. But also
mm.
my clients, I'm like, "Why do you need a healthy cookie?
You can
Isn't
just have
it
me.
okay
Yeah.
to be a healthy person who also eats cookies?" And, like, I
Yeah,
love the idea of postpartum mamas being like, "I'm going to eat a cookie
Mhm.
and I'm healthy.
Yeah,
I'm going to eat a cookie for my baby and I'm going to eat other things," and it be both.
yeah. Like those
yeah.
2 ideas can exist.
That is it's a really interesting point because I it makes me sad. I'll get emails from I mean, like, I still answer every single one of our emails. I, like, just
Mm.
love that's when I hear from someone saying, like, I can't eat your cookies because I'm trying to lose weight," or I'm like, "Okay, well" and that's something I'm not gonna touch that. You know, it's like, "Okay, that you feel that way, great." But
Yeah.
it's hard too because yeah, I mean, I think
We're
we
not your
do
market, you
yeah.
know?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. So
Yeah. I just love the idea, and I breastfed both of my kids, and I wish that that this was around when I was doing this, both to use personally, but also to give as gifts. I think that's like a great gift to give to someone who is nursing, especially first time moms.
gifting is a huge part of our business and because the breastfeeding window is really small and then once they stop
Mhm.
breastfeeding it's a great new mom gift and something that I just think too like which we all know as moms is this space is so untapped and I feel like there's just a lot of opportunity to talk about this brand more so than just being a lactation cookie but like a platform to help talk about like what we're all going through and like kind of normalizing the experiences that we all have.
One thing that comes up is, like, the fact that it is a prepackaged thing, I love because I feel like so much of postpartum like, I went to this dietitian, patients would be like, "Okay, like, I'm putting all these meals in the freezer, and I'm" like,
Mm.
all of this work that falls on the mom of, like, all
Mhm.
this prep and, like, "Do you have all your meals ready for the next 6 weeks?" And a lot of times I talk to people about, like, "Can your husband cook you a meal?" Or, like, "Can
Yeah.
we have a prepared meal service?" Or, "How are we outsourcing some of the impact of
Mhm.
this new phase?"
Yeah.
Especially for first-time mamas. So, yes, it's great that the recipe is online, right? But also,
Mm.
how much greater is it if I get, 24 cookies
Mhm.
delivered from my bestie who's like, "I see you, I got you,"
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I think what was really cool is during COVID, I saw that a lot, which was
Oh,
really interesting. Our business like exploded during COVID
wow.
because so many people weren't able to go see their daughter who just had her
Yeah,
first baby or
yeah.
their sister-in-law. And so it was like just seeing the value of like being able to send something that like
A
you
functional
it's a
product.
functional product that you get and the notes that people write because we have something else is like we have a custom note that we still to this day like include notes with all of our products like we did in the early days. It's just so nice to be able to say things like it's also sweet because like husbands will write like you're doing amazing. I'm so proud of you like
Mhm.
to their wives. You know,
Oh,
like it's just so sweet.
That's so cool that they can customize that. I
Yeah,
love
it's
that.
really sweet.
We talked on this a little bit with like St. Michael's, but and we talked about this a lot. Like our podcast focuses on like women and like
Mhm.
Dallas women, female entrepreneurs. Like, do you think there's something different or exciting about like female entrepreneurship in Dallas? Like, have you felt that as you've grown? I know you have like a group that you support for that because
Yeah.
we were talking about like it's such a unique,
Mhm.
saturated city full of female entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and also coming from New York because you have that
Yeah, you have
background
the
too, so, like,
comparison.
I'm curious to know.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Dallas is, well, so I grew up in Dallas. The thing about Dallas that I love now, and it's so funny. Last night I was at this happy hour with a bunch of women who are in finance, and and a lot of them weren't from here. And I met this one woman who was, and I was like, it's so rare to meet someone actually who's from Dallas because it's so interesting how Dallas now is so transient. Some people have moved here. There's so much
Yeah.
opportunity. But when I started Miracle Milk Cookies, I really relied on and it wasn't even like intentional, but like it wasn't like I'm gonna start this group of female founders, but I started having coffee every week with a different woman that I grew up with here who had a company, like Christina Lynch, who was Miguel Andrina, and Catalina's Dondolo. Like she didn't grow up here, but she went to SMU and was a friend of a friend, and just people who had started businesses here specifically. And so I started meeting with them and having coffee, and I noticed like each of them were like, "Oh, I've been like wanting to meet with that person. Do you know her?" And I heard this person might be, and it was just like this like fun, like, okay, yeah, like let's connect. And so finally I was like, let's just start doing monthly coffees and
Yeah.
we can all get together. And I called it Collective 31 based off of Proverbs 31. But I
Oh,
just thought it
yeah.
would be so cool to have a space for us to come and meet up and like share like, who's your packaging person? Who's your
Mhm.
CPA? Like, who do you use for your website? Because, like, if you can grow so much further faster, if you have like the right people around you and people that like are in it too. And as anyone who's built a brand or business or has
Yeah, like
clients or services,
collaboration is
like, yeah,
everything.
you know how important it is to help work with other people and collaborate. And so I just saw so much value from that. And I think women in general are just like so willing to share, especially if you've been in it and you're struggling to like figure it out. And then you finally figure it out. You're like, oh my gosh, you have to talk to this person because they can help so much with this. And so I think Dallas in general, and I've just seen it over, and I'm sure y'all have too seen it like over the past like 10 years explode with like so many amazing female founders are here, so many amazing businesses, so many people that you probably don't even, so many businesses I didn't even know existed in Dallas are in Dallas.
Yeah.
I think the thing about Dallas in general is like this whole mindset of like collaboration and community that doesn't really
Mhm.
exist in other cities that I mean, from
Mhm.
where what I've heard and
No.
what I've seen, it's just different here. And I
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah. It's
different.
like warm and welcoming. And I feel like there's like
Mhm.
this really strong like family rooted values that people like can't help but share. Like, oh,
Yeah.
think this thing is gonna like help your business and like I want to help you. And it's just like this natural flow. And I don't know why that
Yeah,
is.
I feel like people
Like,
here, like, if you talk to them in business, like, they want you to succeed. Like,
yeah.
we're both transplants, so I feel like we've
Yeah.
kind of both experienced that as well.
That's
Okay,
I have to
amazing.
go to pick up.
she's Whitney's I know, in true
For
mama
my
fashion.
toddler,
Sorry.
Andrea is gonna continue with y'all.
Okay.
Yes.
Whitney, it was so good to see you.
It's so funny because we're, like, in different phases, so my kids are older, I have a high schooler and a college grad, and her son's just starting preschool, so
Oh
it
my
is
gosh.
fun that, like, even between the 2 of us, we're able to bounce things off
How
of
did
each
y'all
other.
connect? You and Whitney?
We kind of met just through like Dallas fitness, that sort of realm. And we ended up like meeting for coffee. And I was going to become a Whole30 coach. And I was like,
Cool.
hey, like I'd love to work with a dietitian because like even within that, there's only so much you could do with Whole30. And then after you're done, like I really want someone that I could refer to, someone that I
Mhm.
trust that really I feel, it aligned. And then I was like, wait, you should become a coach too. And so then she and I developed this coaching program where we would take 6 weeks and we would coach the Whole30, but we would make it really fun. We would pair a workout and a brunch
Cool.
locally. So we would like pick somewhere and we'd create a menu with them, or if they already had things on the menu we could pull from, we would do that. And then we would do the workout beforehand. So we would partner with like Session or, different workout studios and we'd offer that. And then we'd have like the coaching session at the restaurant. And
Cool.
so we did that for like 3 years, almost 4 years. COVID kind of that put a damper in that. And then she got busy with her practice. And, I've always, I've had my blog, Lubies and Lulu, for, since
Yes.
2012. And
Wow.
so I've been in that content creation space forever. She, kind of focused on her practice and I kind of just more so focused on that. And I was like in a super busy phase with my daughter too. Like during that time, she was like going through high school and
Oh, wow.
just
Yeah.
crazy. So, but we remained friends through all of that. And then I was like, we should do a podcast. Like, I feel like we, have a lot of fun and it would still be a fun way to team up and share information and, all of the things we're passionate about with women's health and wellness and business and all of that. And so it took some convincing, but
I love that. That's amazing. That's so cool.
yeah, so we've been friends. I think we met in like 2016, 2017. So we've
Wow.
known each other
Long
for
time.
a while. Yeah. We've been doing the podcast since the spring. So we've had a fun journey with it so far. And I know you've had your podcast for a while too.
Yes, I have. It's such a I love it. It's like such a passion project for me. It's like nice having an excuse to talk to people.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Learn.
And we're that way too. We're like, like there's always more we can do with it. There's always more to learn, but like we just want to start and we'll, learn and change it as we grow as needed. It's so fun to connect with each other, but then also with, people like you.
Awesome. I know, I love that.
Right. But going along with the collaboration and support that you felt among your peers and fellow entrepreneurs in Dallas, what would you say are ways that Miracle Mama fosters community and empowerment for other moms through your product?
I feel like one thing I didn't have early on was just feeling like I knew any other moms the same stage I was in, and that was
Yeah.
really tough because I think even if your friend has a child, if their child's like 2 and your baby's a newborn, it's such a different phase.
Mhm.
So one thing that we're always trying to do is create opportunities for moms to get together, meet up, and see each other in real life. And so
Yeah.
we just launched an initiative called Miracle Mama on the Move, where we do a monthly walk with the Katy Trail in the terminal for moms to get together. We meet up outside Bros Cafe at the terminal. And we have like a build your own swag bag bar with like fun brands. And then we just go on a walk. And so just like creating opportunities for women to get out of the house and like bring their kids or not bring their kids. There's like a lot of amazing brands out there. There's a group called Misha in New York, Miami, and Austin, and
Mhm.
they do a lot of really cool events for moms in their cities. And so we'll just we partner with them for their events and like raise awareness around what they're doing for moms in their cities, and just kind of like I think taking the brand from like online to from digital to IRL
To
for
like real
moms,
life. Yeah.
yeah, to give them opportunities to, like, connect, and I think connection is so important, and community is so important, and giving them places to go and things to do, and, like, one time, like, last year, we just said, "Can you all share your favorite bee in your city, your favorite postpartum care practitioner?" And, like, we sent out a whole like, all these different people's resources, just, like,
Uh-huh.
sharing our resources between our moms, like, just to help other people know, like, who to go to and who to see, because you just don't even know sometimes if you move to a new city or you
Yes.
a lot of people are moving, a lot of people are changing jobs. Really have used our Instagram platform as an opportunity to like connect moms, share resources,
Yeah.
and come up with event opportunities for them
Yeah,
too.
I think that is so valuable. Like personally, I moved here when I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter, and I didn't know anyone. And so
That's
I
so
know
hard.
it can be, hard to make friends as a new mom, especially when you're living in a new city. And so,
Yes.
I mean, the way I was able to make friends was through our gym. That's how I got to meet other moms because they were like bringing their babies too at that point once they're like old enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is I just love that you do that and provide, those opportunities to meet, but then also like, resources that are practical, like recommendations. I think that's wonderful
Thank
to go
you.
along with your product.
Yeah, no, it's like it's such a fun thing. It's like something I like always say I want to create what I didn't have, because
Yeah.
it's so needed.
I would agree. And so this is a funny question because I feel like, what truly is balance? Like as a mom, I feel like
Yeah.
it's hard and it changes, in lots of different seasons. But how do you balance building and running a business while raising a family? What are some things that you found that have worked well for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just had our 4th baby in December. So I've had like our babies as I've been growing this company. And so I've never had
Wow.
a maternity leave, worked from the hospital. I had my 3rd baby at home, but like it's just never, there's not ever a break. So I finally realized like help is so important for me.
Mm.
We have a nanny that comes during the day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And those are my
Mhm.
hours that I work. It's hard because like, I mean, I've gone through seasons where I would be with the girls and I would work and I would try to do everything, and I just didn't feel like I was a good mom, I wasn't a good wife, I wasn't a good
Yeah.
everything fell apart. And I recognize like I need to have that division in my life, that sanity, and also the opportunity to be like, okay, there are other people who can help me with my children. So I can
Mhm.
also focus on my business because this is a time of my life where I want to really scale my company. But like
Mhm.
early on in my business, like I was not sure what I wanted to do with the future of our company. And I
Yeah.
was like, I've been in stages where I'm full on mom in the trenches every day, all day, no help, and running the company. And that's okay because I didn't really want to scale it. But like I literally made the decision last April, when we took on
Mhm.
venture funding, that I wanted to scale the company and I had to make
Okay.
sacrifices. And I knew my sacrifices would be like having a nanny coming during the day so I could work. Knowing that that was meant like time away from my babies, but also like I check in on them. But then I'm able from like, early from the morning when she wakes up at 5:30 or 6 to like 8, I'm with her, my little one, and then my other ones. And then from 4 until bedtime, I'm with them. And then I work
Mhm.
usually from like 8 to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of how my schedule works right now. But this is a season of life.
Breaking up your day in that season in that way is probably very helpful because at that
Yeah.
age, and your kids, they do need so much, so it's not like you could really, like, divide your attention.
I also realized too, like my oldest just turned 10, so she's in 4th grade. She's at school during that time, so she has no idea I'm working. And then the
Yeah.
second I do pickups and drop offs for all of them. So when I pick her up, I'm with her like until bedtime. So she doesn't even see me working. To me, like being with her and being really present with her at this stage in her life where she like needs me is
Mhm.
so important and so valuable. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't working during the day. So
Yeah.
it's just having to like find that balance and or whatever that looks like. It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's hard, and it is different, once all your kids are in school, it'll be different, and then, it is different, but it's great that you've figured that out, that if you can have that dedicated time that then before and after that, you're more free and
Yeah, and
present.
I feel like I'm not, like, resentful or angry or, like, having to pick up my phone because my phone, my emails, everything, I put them away, and then, like,
Yeah.
because I know, like, this time I'm working is I'm, like, full on working, and then
Yeah.
I can be, like, full on mom.
Mama, yeah. That's
Yeah.
wonderful that you've been able to find that balance. I just feel like as moms, we just have to be so flexible and every season is different and every season we're learning something new, but I feel like that also really contributes to who we are in business too. Those are also strengths we can use to apply to who we
Definitely.
are in business.
I agree with that for
Any lessons that you've learned as a founder that you'd want to share with other moms that are considering entrepreneurship as a path for themselves?
of entrepreneurship, and I love business so much, and I love helping other people navigate that. It's just, like, something that I've always been passionate about. I will say that as I've gone down this path, I've had to learn and I've learned this myself, what I started asking other women, other founders who are thinking about building a business or scaling a business or creating something or starting something. What's your end goal here? Like, what do you really want from this? Are you trying to support your family? Are you doing this as a side project? Do you want to build something and sell it? What is it you want to do?
Yeah.
I like I recognize that I think as women too, we like a lot of us just want to be like moms, but also we want to have
Mhm.
a side project. But if you want to have like a huge, massive brand, that means not having a side project and not really being a mom. I mean, you're a mom always, but like it
Yeah.
also means like figuring out ways to scale that company. And there's just so many. I think initially figuring out what is it you really want to do with this company first and foremost, or what is this going to look like for you is the number one like thing I always just ask or think through with people. I think when people are
Yeah.
like, I have this really great idea. I'm like, great. I want to help you get there. But then sometimes it can be frustrating if they don't think through like what that their end goal is. If their end goal
Mhm.
is to like do something different um than they think a lot of the times. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if I answered your question, but
It does because I can relate to that in that sometimes as a mom, if you have an idea for like a side hustle or a creative project, it can tend to be like a passion project. So you don't go into it always thinking of what's my end game for this. That's maybe not where your mind is going
right.
immediately. And so I think those are really good questions to think through and ask someone in the beginning because most people, again, don't come from a finance background or with that type of background where that is where their mind is focused. So I think that does make a lot of sense.
Well, and it's funny because I don't think I even realized how little money I was making at the end of the day until I started talking to my friend in finance
Yeah.
who was like, "What are your margins? Where are you sourcing?" That's like, "How are your cogs?" Like all those questions that now I'm like, "Look, that's what makes a business like is actually like making a profit."
making money and thinking about how much time you're putting into it,
Right?
all of those things. And again, if you're not from that world, like, usually you need some other insight or coaching on that aspect.
Definitely.
But I think that's a really good thing to point out to someone who's thinking about starting a business or, a creative venture. So Miracle Milk Cookies is your hero product right now. Are there any new products or directions in the works that are coming up for you?
Yes. So I'm really excited. So I mentioned this earlier. I just had our fourth baby in December, and
Congratulations, by the
thank
way. Amazing.
you. And when I was, but at my postpartum checkup, my OB said to me, I was 37. I just turned 38 in May, but I was
Okay.
37 when I had her in December, and she was like, "Your body is going through like thinks it's going through perimenopause right now."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Really? That's so interesting." And she said, "Yeah, that's very common, like at this age, because you're like geriatric pregnant person." I personally see this in so many of my patients. My women who are 37 to 38 through 40 are going through perimenopause, and they don't talk about it. No one talks about it. No one knows about it. But it's truly an issue that I, as a doctor, want to focus on and want to help you with. And so she prescribed estrogen. Everything was fine. Like, go
Yeah.
back to normal. What was so interesting to me is like I had been going down this path of like, okay, we took on venture funding last summer, and I was building out Miracle Mama, the brand, thinking through
Mhm.
like what's our like bigger, like what's our brand hierarchy, what's our like architecture here, like our what are we building out beyond the lactation cookies, because I know women need support during that phase, but there's so much more that we can do. And that was kind of like the light bulb moment for me, like we could actually help, because the reason women struggle a lot with breastfeeding is it's just there's a massive hormonal shift that women experience postpartum.
Yeah.
And then you have a massive hormonal shift when you go into perimenopause, and then you go into
Yes.
menopause. And so my thought, like, and what I'm working on right now is why don't we develop a line of functional snacks to help women through every hormonally intense stage of life,
Mhm.
starting with lactation, but going into perimenopause, menopause, and then going back to their first cycle. There's so much we can do. There's 7 significant stages. And so that's what we're building out with Miracle Mama right now is a line of functional snacks that help women at every from their first cycle to their last cycle, and
Mhm.
raising awareness around what happens in our bodies and how we can help support ourselves with functional snacks in this
Mhm.
these different stages we go through.
Okay, I love this so much
Oh,
because
good.
so I'm 45. I started learning more about perimenopause and all of that when I around the time I turned 40 and of course started to experience some of those
Yeah.
changes in myself too. But I did feel like during that time it was a very confusing time because it's not like your doctor sits you down and tells you really about any of it. I feel like in the last few years it's become more of a popular topic and there's more awareness and education around it, but like 5 years ago, even, I feel like I wasn't hearing or learning that much about it. Like, I really kind of had to just start to research on my own. I've learned a few things since then, between 40 and 45. And it is crazy. Like, people again don't tell you, like, oh, you could start experiencing perimenopause signs even as young as like 35. And so I just, thankful that there's a lot more awareness now about all of this and support. But I was just talking to my husband last night and I was like, telling him about we're interviewing you and this is such a great product. And I wish I would have had it when I was breastfeeding. And I was like, wow. I was like, they should make a perimenopause cookie.
Yes. Well, it's so funny. I had coffee with my OB, the same one that was like, "You're going through perimenopause."
Yeah.
I had coffee with her last week, and we were talking about this because she's like super passionate, like about this whole space too. And she was saying like insurance will only cover a 15-minute appointment with her for her to see a
Mhm.
patient. And she said, "I can't help a woman going through perimenopause in 15 minutes. It's just
Yeah.
not possible." And she just said, there's so much that we can do in this space that hasn't been done. And what's so interesting is when they did studies um, on menopause or perimenopause. They did like a whole estrogen study back in like the
Mhm.
80s, maybe like
Yes.
90s. The group of women that they studied were in their 60s.
Hmm.
And she told me this. I need to like do more research, but she said what they
Yeah.
found in the study is like a lot of these women already either had breast cancer or were carriers or they had dementia. So there was
Yeah.
like this already like
The
skewed
study was so
population.
flawed and
So
skewed.
far.
Yes.
Yes. And so still on estrogen creams, there's a black box that says may cause dementia or cancer. And so she said, there's like, it's so antiquated, this whole thing. So for so
Hmm.
long, women were going to their doctors. The doctor's like, well, I can prescribe estrogen, but you might get cancer. You could
Yeah.
also get dementia. Like, this is going to cause all these issues. So I'm like, let's just avoid it. And so then
Yeah.
these women avoided it. And then
Have
they
all these problems down the line.
yes,
Yeah.
meanwhile, men were going to get testosterone and
Yeah.
Viagra and all the things they needed, and they were feeling great, and women were, like, losing their hair, getting the gut, like,
Yeah.
really
Bone
bad
density is like, going down, osteoporosis, all the things.
all the things, and then there's this huge imbalance in marriages, and then men are like, "I'm not getting what I need for my wife."
Yeah.
Women are like, "I'm not feeling like myself," and then there's, like, this it just,
Huge
like,
divide. Yeah.
huge divide, and it's just so crazy, and thankfully now there is some more awareness around this. I'm like, so basically if we create a cookie where perimenopause and menopause, we can save marriages.
Yeah. No, honestly, make it high in fiber.
Pizza, magnesium for sleep. Yes, all the things. But yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting area. I'm like super excited
Mhm.
about it because there just needs there's people there are supplements out there, which is great now. And there are people like you're saying, there are people out there like talking about it more. But even like my mom's generation hasn't done anything. And I remember when my mom
Yeah.
went through it and it was like
Yeah, there's a whole generation of women that I really don't think they received adequate care during that
no.
time. It's just been great to hear doctors like Dr. Mary Claire Haver and,
Mhm.
these people that are really wanting to educate people about it. So I think that's awesome. And I mean, that's really a way to grow and support your customers from pregnancy and lactation all the way through like the changes that you have in perimenopause and menopause. What a great way to be able to grow your brand and also support women.
We already have the customers there and we can help her in so many more ways beyond just breastfeeding. There's just a lot we can do.
Okay, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been so exciting and I've learned so much, about your company and, what you have coming as we've talked. But I wanted to do just a fun lightning round of questions, just to talk
Great.
about some of your favorite things in Dallas and just in general. I think you mentioned this, but what is your favorite cookie flavor?
Oatmeal chocolate chip for sure.
Oatmeal chocolate chip. And I also love you pointed out that your recipe is on your website, which is so
Yes, it
great.
is. Yeah,
I'm
it's still
definitely going to be
there.
trying that.
Yes.
Your favorite Dallas coffee spot and order.
Oh gosh, it's so funny. I just like making coffee at home.
Oh
I
my
like
God, me too.
whenever I go to a coffee spot, I just end up ordering water or like maybe a second coffee of the day. But I don't know. I just like to have my coffee at home.
Yeah. Do you do it black? Do you fix it up?
I don't. I do like a little bit of Chobani creamer.
Those are so
What about
good.
you? What's your coffee order?
I make my coffee at home usually too, but then like if I go out for like a second coffee, I'll do a decaf Americano, or if I want a
Mhm.
treat, I'll do one of those like, cold foam or something on the top.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm a coffee at home girl too.
I love it. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad.
What's your go-to family friendly Dallas restaurant?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's like super family friendly, but
Yeah.
every time we go out with 4 girls, little ones, we go to Muchacho. They just love
Nice.
Muchacho. I'm obsessed with Muchacho. It's our like
Yeah.
go-to Mexican and we always go to
Yeah,
Mexican. What about
muchacho
you?
is
What
so good. We also love muchacho. We're in Richardson, so our, like, neighborhood favorite, Mexican place is Sueño, and it's literally,
Oh,
like, right down the street from us. They are family friendly, like, we take our family there, or if we are going out with another family, like, that has younger kids, like, we all go there. So, yeah, it's one
I'll
of
have
my
to try
favorites.
that.
Really opening up a, location in Snyder Plaza in the fall,
Oh,
or I think, like, late fall. Yes.
oh my gosh, they are? Okay, that's like right by our house. I'll have
Yeah,
to go
so
check
you'll
it
have
out.
to check them out. It's, like, family owned, so good. Yeah, so you'll have to
Yum.
check it out.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
What's your, morning routine must-have?
Gosh, face wash. I have to wash my face.
Yeah, do you have any favorite brands?
I just use IS Clinical, and then I like Sunday Riley a lot. I use
Oh,
Sunday
yeah.
Riley moisturizer, and I like their CEO Glow. I put it on, like, in the afternoons to, like, get a
Oh, yeah,
little
they're is that the vitamin C one? I think
yes.
that's really good. Okay, what is, one product or practice that you can't live without right now?
Okay, well, I'm, like, addicted to Ritual. I have to go, like, once a day. Like, I go every morning, sculpt, and then I'll do, like, the hot Pilates, and then I'll do the Vinyasana on the weekends. But,
Oh,
like,
nice.
I kinda rotate. I don't know what it is. It's, like, the heat. I love it so much,
Yeah.
and I know people
Feel, like,
don't like heat.
invigorated after.
Yeah, I, like, just feel it helps me so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is the best piece I know this might be kind of hard to narrow it down, but what is the best piece of advice you've received as a mom?
Oh, um, this is a great question. I mean, I think be present. I think my husband does a good job of reminding me of that. Like if I am like on my phone or doing something else, he's like, we only have this time with them. If you wanna focus on them right now, that would be good. I probably would have been annoyed in the past, but now I'm like, "You're right, like, this is my only time." Like, just being
Yeah.
present when I'm there, being physically present and, like, there.
And it can be a challenge
Yeah.
sometimes because as moms, we have lots of things swirling and having to manage. And so, yeah, it's a really good one. It's a reminder we can all afford
I
to
need to
hear.
remind myself that daily. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. All right. Well, where can listeners find Miracle Mama and Miracle Milk Cookies? Give yourself all the shout outs here.
You're so sweet. We are on our website. You can find our website, miraclemama.com. It's just Miracle Mama. And at Hi Miracle Mama is our Instagram. And currently, and then we're on Amazon. If you like look up
Oh,
Miracle Mama on Amazon, you'll find our storefront. I'm kind of using that as our incubator for new products. So we have new products
okay.
on there all the time. Not all the time, but like whenever we have time to develop something new, it's on Amazon.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here. And are there any final words of encouragement you want to offer to moms at any stage?
Well, you're so sweet to have me, and I'm just so grateful that we connected and just keep doing what y'all are doing. I love that you have this podcast, and just so grateful to know other podcasters in this space
Yes.
and other moms that are just building businesses. And if you are building a business, it's hard, and but you're doing great. I know that's like something that's so cliche to say, but I think it's sometimes nice to hear from other people like it's hard, but keep
Yeah.
going. You
Yeah,
really are
exactly. And
passionate.
your kids see it and they see you working hard. And I think that's always like a great example to set as
Yes,
well.
that's true. Yeah, our kids are watching us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, it's been so great to have you. We've loved connecting with you, and I'm looking forward to those perimenopausal products you have
Yeah,
coming.
I'll definitely send you samples when they have them.